Hey folks, welcome back to Timberpunk, and hopefully what is the start of more regular content on the channel with a new schedule, a reduced set of videos that I plan to produce. If you're curious what that looks like, there's a video that I released over the weekend which explains the results of the survey that I did and what it means. Go check that out. I'll try and remember to stick a card up in the corner for that. What does it mean for Timberborn? 3 videos a week, 1 series of Timberborn, and I want to try and make those videos a little less rambly, he says as he rambles on for a bit. And I want to try and achieve a bit more in each video. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that will always happen, but that's the plan. I'm hoping that I can dedicate a bit more time to each video and will occasionally cut out a bit of the dead space to achieve a bit more. That's the goal. Might not always happen. Just tends to be how my brain works, that I don't always remember to do that. So that's the plan. First thing I want to do, someone asked what mods I'm running currently in the save. That will change through as I play. I won't always remember to tell folks what I add in and take out, but this is what mods look like at the moment. I tend to run quite a light mod set, particularly I'm considering ourselves early on in the release of version 1 of Timberborn, so the game is going to be changing quite a lot. So I don't want to be stuck if mods become invalid through an update. So essentially we've got the ladders mod, good statistics, moddable tool groups. I don't know if that's a dependency or not. Same with custom tools, but for me the key ones are the ladders mod, automation, Timber UI, Timprove 4 UI, Unstuckify, and more tunnels. I think most of the rest of them are dependencies. But yeah, not that many at the moment. That does change as I play and as I go through, and as the game updates I might drop a mod to get it to work, forget to add it back in. Yeah, that's what it looks like at the moment. So there's a settings cog for automation. Interesting. I hadn't seen that before. Right, so let's crack on. First thing, yeah, always appreciate the comments, people asking questions and suggesting things. And someone did point out that I had slightly screwed up connecting up the aquifers. So we're just going to fix that so I don't forget. If they don't get around to building that, I'm not worried. So my goal for today's video is to attempt to get this hooked up and working. Whether we will, I don't know. We have a drought approaching, so it's a good time to try and get some of this stuff done. So let's try and do that, shall we? So what we need to do is set you to be demolished. We'll be able to come over that, but we probably want to demolish that as well. I'm going to make that a little bit of a priority and that a little bit of a priority. There's a little bit of bad water in there, I think, but we'll probably be okay. Let's run the game at a bit of pace. They're working on building this as well, which is good. Over in this district, so we've got this in now, which is cool. This is full, which is also cool. This detonated, so probably it's worth us thinking about refilling this, or kind of patching this back up in some way, so that we can, if we need to, make use of the bad water that comes out of this. So let's do that. Did we get the down here? Because we were working on putting in a tubeway, and we did in fact get that connected. which should allow us to start thinking about getting into the mine down here. So essentially we're going to have to tunnel, just because it's there and in the way. I'm going to demolish that. But we've got this whole little underground colony here, which is kind of cool. If any of you made comments when I asked about how we should make use of this, I may have missed them. If I did, I apologize. You might have seen my comment this week was a little bit crazy. Mrs. D ended up over at the hospital with an emergency hospital appointment. She is okay now, but it was a bit of a manic week, and I was not entirely... Do we want to make use of those? No, let's... I think if we go past that, yeah. Might not be the most efficient tunnel. And I think in time we will end up replacing it with... so we'll dip into there, because that will get us access to that. And then we'll come across there. Now that's going to let bad water out, but because we're using bots, I think we'll be fine. The alternative is we pause that, and we come down here and get rid of that. I mean, we're coming in at the level of the mine, which is kind of what I want. But I wonder if we want to drain that out, but ultimately we want to block these. So, and maybe we want to block them completely. So, I don't know. Maybe we just get in there and... I don't know. I'm just going to let that run, I think. So over in this main district, the other thing we were working on was over here, wasn't it? So I'm just going to let the game run slowly, actually, so things continue to happen while we set stuff up. Because otherwise nothing's going to get done. The other thing I guess we can do is run a path around here so that they can build that. We did have the problem that we had bad water flood into here, which was not fun, but we resolved that. So the idea is that we end up building a new industrial area over here. Now I'm assuming we are going to fill this to a reasonable level. I'm not sure what we want to use this water for yet, but because of that, I'm going to give them stair access up to here. And we're going to mark all of these trees to be cut as well. Not those, these. Because I feel like we will get this more than too deep. Not too deep, but too deep. And honest, I am trying not to procrastinate too much over what we get done. We have only one incapacitated bot, that's fine. So the other thing I would like to do is come up here, come across here, delete bunch of these, and not that we need it. We've got 40 odd thousand science, but this satellite dish is just sat here tempting me like crazy, so I would like to get to that at some point. How have we got... we've got water in there because we've obviously broken through here. Aha. So that's too far from a district, because we've now removed that. Right, so let's... How are we going to deal with this? So those water sources are... Sorry for the rapid camera movement, folks. Those water sources are at that level. So I think we are ultimately going to want to detonate that out, which means probably we are going to want to demolish you and demolish you. So let's plan for that. Yep. How are we doing over here? So that's all built to that level. So then what I think I want to do is put dams all across there. I'm going to leave this construction just because I think it's kind of cool. I'm betting I can't delete that tree. Just because we're above it. Nope, that's annoying. So we might have to come at that from over there. But again, that is a possibility. I'm thinking we put back our scavenger flag and just keep trying to clear these bits of metal out. I wonder if we get to that from above. We can. And we can put a ladder down and get that. Can we get that one from above? No, that one's too far, but we can work our way to that. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Right, let's run the game at a bit more pace now. So, you for you can't believe it is not H for boom. Yes, he's still doing that. I know. So I'm wondering if we can kill 2 obstructions with 1 stone. That's not the that's not how the saying goes. I know. If we put a tunnel under there and then delete the tunnel, it'll get rid of that as well. So we can't do that with the thorns. Just to demonstrate, you cannot tunnel 1 layer under thorns. So we are going to have to put a ladder there. If we put a platform there, we can then come in and delete all of those, because I would like to make that a little bit wider. Now, I've got a feeling these are quite weak water sources from what I remember. But we may as well maximize what we can achieve. So, you know, I'm also going to demolish that, and that to open that up. And let's put a path in to there. And we will also demolish you and you. Some dynamite there. And there. And I'm then going to want to put a ladder. If I put it there and put a platform there, we can get to all of those and those, and we'll be able to delete all of those. And I guess the same here, and then we put a platform there, and then we can delete all of those. And what we're going to need to do is create something which will push the bad water back over the edge here. But that's not a massive problem. That is perfectly achievable. It's perfectly achievable. So let's run a path through here. Through here. We need them to delete that, but that's okay. So that's that going on. Those are going in. Good stuff. That is being emptied and not accepting new goods, but also not connected to a path, so they probably can't empty it. That's that. Awesome. So let's go over here. They're working on that. These folks are doing this, and they are doing a sterling job. because we have ended up rather low on logs because of my yes, I know, I've just marked a load of logs to be deleted when he says he's low on logs. God, he's an idiot, isn't he? Yep, yeah, he is. But you know what? It'll be fine, folks. It'll be absolutely fine. Don't you worry about it. In the grand scheme of things, everything will be okay. It is just a game about artificial apocalyptic beavers. None of this is actually real. And I know some of you think everything has to be absolutely perfect in the fake beaver game. It does not. It does not. In the fake beaver game, some things can be not perfect. I know that is a shock to some of you, but you know. Right, so I think we want to make this a nice square corner now. I guess we could start thinking about, if we're going to put large water wheels in, we might want to make it deeper. So let's do that. Let's think actually about planning our route. So if I want to leave a 2 wide gap just to make construction easier, I'm going to come back. That's a 1 wide gap. Yeah, Egypt. I know I said I was going to procrastinate less, and it doesn't feel like I am at all, does it? No, it doesn't. But once we've got some things planned, I'll probably skip ahead a bit. So, yeah, things will get better, folks. Things will get... Keep saying that to myself. In terms of the things that are being really stressful at the moment. And they sort of are. They sort of are. Honestly, I think that'll be enough because we don't need insane amounts of power generation up here. So I'm going to do that. If I wanted to leave, that's that. That's my gap. We could come along here. We could still put water wheels in all of this. And then along here, and then that should be okay. And I think they can get to all of that. And then we can just fill around it. So we probably want to remove you, Mr. Tree, I'm afraid. That requires some more pathage, but we've got the ability to lay that pathage. And it'll help with putting the explosives in. Right, who's got nothing to do? You. Yep, I can understand that. So let's delete you and you. Let's go into... Oh, what's that one? Oh, that's... What that mod? That. Someone will be able to tell me what mod that is from and what it does. I'm sure. That might be the Mortals one. That might be part of automation. You can go take a little break. That may be me installing a mod and not knowing what it does, and I hate that in the farm sim. But people do that. But yeah, I may have done it in TIMBERPUNK. So, yay me! Right. So we are up to here. You thought you can't believe it's not H for boom. And more again. And more again. And then we join up the paths. And these guys are doing a great job getting rid of that. We'll put explosives in there and in there and there and there. We leave that one because otherwise water runs off the back of the map. We put explosives there. We put single explosives there to drop that down. And then that'll let us think about how we build things. Think about what we're doing with our lives. I've put that wrong, which is annoying, but once we've blasted those out, that will be okay. We will be able to recover, folks. Do not panic. That's all hooked up, which is awesome. So I'm wondering if we do something slightly sneaky with the power. What I'm thinking is, because we can make use of impermeable floors. Power of impermeable floors, folks. So we come over here. We put in a vertical power shaft tunnel. We can build there. That's step one. And then we do. I don't think we can. We don't have a ladder tunnel, I guess, because it's two mods combined into one. So we're just going to put a normal tunnel there. Yeah, we're going to do that. I have a cunning plan. So at the moment, I can't really do any kind of massive speed ups. That is okay. We need to connect that there. If we connect the path bone to the path bone, things will actually work. Yeah. Because that should connect all of that up as well. Yeah. I know how to play this game. Why are you not cutting down those trees? Or those trees? The beaver. Where are you, in fact? Oh, you're there. Okay. You're getting to it. So the other things that we need to do are build you. Building needs to be built on top of an aquifer, isn't it? Okay. Ignore me. Well, don't, because otherwise there's no point you watching the video, you know? But... Right. And again, what we're going to do is... I want to cut a channel across here. Make it 3 wide. Like that. And then we're going to block this off so that the bad water goes through that way, which should let this dry out. That's the theory. How are we doing down here? With our tunnel. I guess it would help if I hooked that up. They'd probably have a better time of things, wouldn't they? Yeah, they probably would. So if I open this up, I guess that bad water is just going to flow into the hole that the force made, which is not the end of the world. So let's leave that. Yeah, let's leave that to do that. They're doing those things. So the reason that I want to do this is let's shut this off for a second. Yes, it will affect the metal down here, but we've got 1,000 metal, so I think that's okay. Because I want to do the land placement, and it'll be better if we don't have bad water flowing to do that. So let's delete that path. And delete that bit of path. I guess delete that bit of path. Delete you so we can put that bit of explosives in. And then backfill all of the missing terrain. Goes around this. So basically wherever there's not explosives, there needs to be dirt. Now some of that we can't get to now, but we will be able to. No, that was dumb. Don't do that. You go. But we'll be able to get to a bunch of it, and anything we can't get to, we'll put in later. We'll build a ladder or whatever. No. You can stay open. Yeah, I think that will help with flow. Let's extend some path up to there, and that'll actually help with building a bunch of this. I'm not going to detonate the explosives yet because that might cause issues with access. So let them build what they can of that. Let's go back over here. So let's place all of that. Let's detonate that. Detonate that. Detonate that. Detonate that. And detonate that. So that can go now. And essentially what we need is to create something that when the contamination goes up, it closes. Now, the easiest way to do that is we've got the throttling valve. So we can either use that or floodgates. Actually, floodgates might be the simplest way of doing that. And just bunging some triple floodgates back here. But before we do that, we want to put in a contamination sensor, and so with the way that works, we might actually want to build that up here, because I believe, yeah, because it measures the water contamination below the arm. I guess the other way we could do it is we could, yeah, we could do, because I'm not expecting it to get that deep, because I don't think these water sources are that strong, unless it's changed since the last time I played on this map, which it could have. We could do that. So if we come over here and we put in a few ladders, that should let us build that. If we are greater than or equal to, let's go 2%, that switches on. So we'll come back to that in a bit. Come over here. So this is too far from a district and cannot be built. Okay, there we go. That should now be buildable. And what we need to do, annoyingly, is I'm going to have to build these all the way down. So I'm going to come across to this level. I'm going to get the tunnel with path. So this is at 7712. So it's at 12. Okay. We're going to come over here. We're going to get the path under platform tunnel. We're going to go across at 12 to 77. I didn't really need to do that because this is the one. 7712. that one actually. So you need to be a tunnel. So you are going to be paused. And then I need to come all the way up here. And get those built. We're going to put an impermeable floor on you. And then we can do tunneling, vertical power shaft, under tunnel, back down. There we go, all the way down with you to there. Not there. Sorry. Steam had popped up on my screen. Steam keeps popping up on my screen because I keep pressing the wrong key. There we go. Right. So those are all the way in and being built. And by pausing that last one, that should stop all of the water draining out, he says. We're actually going to pause a couple of those, just in case. And the idea is I'm going to put a... Actually, do we need to do that? I don't think we do, actually. Ignore me. I'm going to... Because we can build... Yeah. Pause. You go away. Stop building you. You go away. So we are going to refill that with dirt. Because we can build the vertical bit all the way with from above. Yeah, so we don't need to pause those. Provided that that's built, because that should stop water draining out, provided these get built as a higher priority. Yep. As long as I pause that one. And let's repause that one just in case. And let's go back over here. So that's in, nearly. Okay, that's too far from a district still. So, do I need more height? I do. Okay. Put you there. Hopefully they can build that then. Right, let's go back over here. Where am I? There. Right. So let's now... U for you can't believe it is not H for boom. So that should give us a 2 wide channel all the way out. Just looking to check that that is not going to give us. So this is now not used. Because this was originally for the other connection that we had. So that goes straight down, turns, goes straight down. That's all sealed all the way down to there. Yeah, so that should all be okay. That should all be okay. The only reason it's that shape is because originally it went into there. So let's open that up and see how we look. Ah, we missed one. Okay, so we need to put a double explosives there, which means we need to get to that, which means we need to put a couple of platforms there. Let's do that. And then let's just check. Nothing funky is happening. We are good. Awesome. Just blast that out. Get rid of that. We'll pick that up and then we can turn that into some power generation. You are too far away, so let's put you there. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. You are probably too far away. Let's move you there. Let's move you all the way over. Or do we move you all the way? No, let's move you there. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. You can go as well. Get a piece of path. I love the B for copying path. It is so good. Get you, grab you, run you across to there. Let's tidy this path up a little bit, shall we? So let's delete all of that. Connect you like that and like that. Get rid of that. That's better. You can cut down all of those. You can cut down most of those. We don't have anyone that can cut down those. And probably no one can reach all of that stuff that I marked to be demolished. So let's put you there. Let's bring over a path this way. One of the reasons my paths end up looking so messy is they are just a giant spaghetti of together paths, and that's not always great. But does it really matter? No, it doesn't in the grand scheme of things, folks. Right, so that's all of that. So now let's think about building some water wheels, shall we? And I think because of like paths and things, like paths, because of actual paths, not like paths. I know, because we can get them from the other side, can't we? If we do that, we can get them from the other side. So let's run a path up there and a path up there. But I'm going to pause it just so that we can put them in before the beavers start going, oh yay, let's build everything, because that's what they do. So I just want to think about how we lay them out so that they are coherent. Because you don't want incoherent water wheels, folks. They just fall apart and it all becomes a giant galactic mess. So if we do that initially, and then we can do there, there and there. Do I like that? Maybe not. Maybe if I put them all in and then think about how we build them. So if I did that, and then be doing that, that, and that. That's not awful, you know? We could still run the path up there and then just bridge across there for power. I don't dislike that. And that's probably going to generate a reasonable amount of power. Yes, I could have not had that be too wide, but, you know. We don't have to be super efficient with space. This map, one of the things we have on this map is a shed load of space. So, you know. We are definitely not short of land mass. You can go, which means the path can go, the ladder can go. Awesome. Right. Right, you're done. You can't believe it's not H for boom, can you? No, you can't. All right, landscaping. Dirt. Let them build that bit before we build the other disconnect. Yeah. Right, that's that done. Back over here, we have 4.7 days. How is that still too far from a frickin' district? Is this path just not connected up? It's connected all the way to there, yet they still can't reach that. I'm confused. Confused of Essex here. What I'm going to do is put that to the side, put a path there, and put a triple platform there. What's it to do with... No, because that's all connected up. Path that goes all the way through there. Hopefully they can reach sideways across and build that. Anyway, let's go over here. Let's go underwater again. Actually, no, let's not. Let's go on the surface. Right, that's in. That's got an impermeable floor on the top. So we should be okay to build that and build that when I connect them to a path. So let's run the game on and see what that does. Go back over here. Now they can build it. Awesome. Right, let's get rid of that. Get that built, please. So that will now flow through there, through there, into here. And then we do need to block this end off because this is still a opportunity for water to exit. So let's think about that, shall we, before we have an issue which is a small issue. Now, the question is, I guess, how far back do we go? And I think for now, we'll stop at a point we can easily reach, which is... And this is relatively narrow, which makes it easier to build as well. So let's go with that, shall we? So we can do that. I guess. So the limiting factor is the height of this side. And that's going to be higher than that, so that's fine. Then the other thing we can do is if we delete this bit path, we can bring over beavers from the main district as well. So that both sides can work on building this. And what we can do... How have I not unlocked the 6x overhang at this point? Yes, because you haven't needed it yet. Yeah, that would be why. We can do that. And both sides can work on building it. All right, wow. Okay, so they built that fairly quickly. How much power is it going to generate? That is a really, really good question. It doesn't have to generate, you know, immense amounts of power. It just has to generate some power. All we want, folks, is some power. You know. There we go. We can block that off. And then the overspill bad water can go that way instead of going that way. Right, how are we looking down here in the pits? Am I even in the right place? Good question. Well asked. Feels like we're not. There's the mine. There's my tunnel. There's my one tunnel block that's not taken out, and it has dried out at this point, so we can do that. We can demolish that. I guess we have the problem that we can't actually get over the mine easily, so we might have to tunnel all around it, which is not really a problem. It's an opportunity, folks. Can always rebuild stuff. Demolish that. As long as we can get to blocking these off, we'll be good. Yeah. Right, back over here. Yeah. Oh, they've almost built that. Awesome. Good job, beavers. That is finally built after a short eternity. And what we're going to do is, so this is set at a 2% cutoff. We're then going, I'm going to go with floodgates because floodgates don't get used very often. People seem to really dislike the floodgates these days. And this is going to be called side contamination. We know I struggle with writing the words, so automate off of side contam. If it is off, they will be open. If it is on, they will be. I thought I was putting triple floodgates in. So I thought it was, yep, we all did, folks. We all did. Automate side contam off. They can go away. They will shut. Brilliant. That'll do a job. We can delete these. Awesome. We can delete, no, these. Awesome. So that will have water flow into there. That will stop water flowing out that way. Good stuff. We've hopefully now got a power shaft that goes all the way to the bottom. Tunnel, power shaft under platform. Run that out to there. That, it has water in it because there was water in it before. Before I put the because the water's not all the way, but there was water in it before we got the impermeable floor built. So the other thing we need to do then is you. And that is going to need a ladder. And then what we need to do, and then is what the easiest way is to connect that. It doesn't really matter, does it? Do we put a clutch in? Who fancies seeing a clutch? I'm gonna have it engaged for now, but we'll put one in just to see what they're like. Awesome. Because in theory, this is connected up to the whole power grid, so it shouldn't matter, he says. Awesome, so that's done. So that should dry out now. That's in. So yes, that's connected across that way. But what we need to do is power there, automation, Don't block builders. See if they can work that out. Let's see if we can get this thing to start filling up. So we've just got to get this built now. Yeah. These are in. Awesome. So we will start to fill this with water either way. These are as done as they are going to be. So let's unmark these. And let's unmark that last row that was planted by the bonus lumberjack. And let's unmark these. But that is a nice big oak forest. Happy with that. The thing that we're going to need to do, obviously, is get the water that we get into here, up into here. So that's going to need some more mechanical pumps. We also haven't yet adjusted this. So that does still need sorting. And why haven't you replanted these? Replant dead trees marked for your pause. Let's play. Maybe that will sort it. They are marked. Yeah. That was the hangover from having the bad water come through before. How are we doing down here? So that's connected all the way. That's nearly done. Good stuff. So this is the goal that I wanted to achieve today. So although we haven't done any skipping of stuff, I feel like I'm happy in that we're achieving what I wanted to achieve. So that's cool. So the little bit of water that we had has run out, but this hasn't drained. So that's good. What we haven't done as well is connected this up. And I know if I'm making everything a priority, nothing is a priority. I get that. So, drought has ended. So if we come over here, we now have a little bit of water flowing. Well, there's a narrow bit there, which I don't really like. But we can deal with that. We can get in and blast that out. As we start to fill the new reservoir. Is it a reservoir, I guess? Yeah, go with reservoir. So that's almost hooked up. We've got 2 more bits there to do. We've got to get this hooked up. Which they're working on, which is awesome. That is so cool. Very pleased with that. Let's get that blasted out. It's not really restricting the flow because, as I said, I don't think those are particularly powerful water sources. So that's turning now. There's power to there. There's almost power to these aquifers. I think we just need Buddy with his log to come build this. I have no idea if we're actually going to fill this thing. This is an immense area to attempt to fill. We have an unstable core that's come online. So, for those of you that weren't aware, and those of you that might have been wondering why I was ignoring this Smorgasbord of geothermal fields, which looks like a bounty of free power. Sat beneath it is an unstable core. Sat beneath the unstable core is a bad water source. So yeah, this area is going to turn into a toxic waste field. We will come and recover this. We will come and recover this. And I think it's fine because I think the bad water flows out of this and gets captured by this river. Now, ultimately, we have a dam across here, so it's going to protect our reservoir. So I think we should be okay. Come build this, dude. The aquifers are running. So this is now just going to fill. It's going to take, I think, a lot of water. A lot more than we have available, probably. But we'll see. Now, I don't know if... It doesn't look like there are any more available. I guess... Now, there's a thought. There's a thought. And it's an operation. The excess water from here. I wonder if we should be looking at piping it across into here now. I feel like we should. That's not a project for today, obviously. But I feel like we could set up a channel. And I feel like we could use automation to do something smart. Particularly with the throttling valves now. I like that idea. Because I don't think this side is going to get that full. If it doesn't get that full, I think we could use the throttling valves to, once this side is full, open and let an amount of water through a pipe that's underground into this side. But because it's the throttling valves, it won't just open and dump the whole thing out. We can restrict the flow enough. I really like that idea as a bigger project. So that's that sorted. That's going to be doing a thing. And what I'm thinking about over here, actually, just noting our mangrove level, is maybe we build a mangrove swamp over here off of these guys. That probably means blasting this down and then storing some of the water, or maybe lifting it up, actually. I don't know. But mangroves need 1 deep water, so and then creating some storage for the excess, assuming there is going to be excess. Get that done. And I think we'll call it a day, folks. This has been obviously there's more water wheels to build around here. But this will give us a feel for things, I think. Will give us a bit of a feel for how things are going to look. 2,000, that's not bad. That's not bad. And if we think that we've got another... Can I get 2 in there? No. You could put that... And if I put it there, it doesn't really matter, does it? There. 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 And if I took out... There. Couple hundred HP. There's a decent extra bit of power going here, folks. Do that. Clear that out, so I can hook that up with a path. Because I can then connect those together and those together. And then we'll start building the industry in here. In this area. That's my plan. But yeah, I think we'll make this into a big mangrove forest. Fed off of these aquifers. And we need to expand the farming up here. But I want to be processing the farm products. Now, maybe we should be processing the farm products over here. Then shipping them out processed. Don't know. But 3 more days and we're not very full. We're not very full. So things that we want to be doing next. We need to set up a series of deep mechanical pumps to pump this water from here up into here and keep this full. I want to set up that pipeline so that once this is full, the excess is flowing across. It's going to be an interesting build, but across into here. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet. Going on there. So as this gets full, this is open. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Now it doesn't matter because we've got an excess of water. But we might want to adjust that. And it's just giving us more power, essentially. But we might want to adjust that. Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe we do the food processing over here and ship out processed products, actually, because we've got a lot of power. And we just run a power line from here under over to here. And actually do the processing in the farming district. Anyway, that is going to be it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. As always, questions, suggestions, bits that I have missed, let me know. We are a long way from having this finished, but project ideas are very welcome. So things that I have still in my head to do, we need to sort out the food processing. I want to aqueduct the excess water across into here so we're not wasting it, and so we're not dumping it into here, which is essentially wasting it. We need to get the mine up and running, and there's the aquifer under here, and we could direct the water from this aquifer across to here somehow. Yep. We've got this area to eventually get to and make use of. The mangrove area that I want to get online at some point. And the new industrial complex, which I want to build over here. Possibly so we can ultimately move this one out. Yeah, but open to ideas, folks. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members, and I will see you all next time.